This is a very large hole now, and I'm about to start using MEK on this. So what I'll do, rather than just working straight onto the wooden surface, all the MEK will leach through and disappear. If you're in a press, it'll be on the barrel and disappearing underneath. So an idea, or a good idea, is just to put a bit of absorbent material. I'll just put a bit of rag immediately under that area, just so that this area here where the damage is at now got some absorbent material underneath it. So when we clean this with MEK, it's not going to spread out everywhere. Just get our gloves on again. So again, we grab our steel wool. It's a pretty big hole, so we'll just grab a bigger chunk. We'll soak the steel wool with MEK. It is a good idea to be fairly liberal with the use of MEK because it's got to dissolve the wine out of the surface. So we don't want to use, if you use too little, you end up having to rub very hard. So the idea is to allow the MEK to actually dissolve the wine out of the material. So now we just start again, we just start agitating the surface with our steel wool, this time over a bigger area for the bigger patch. And what you'll find with a bigger area like this, you'll find that as you start agitating it, it'll gradually, the MEK starts to dry out because there's a bigger area, surface area. So usually you get sort of so far down the track and then just freshen the MEK up, because if there's no loose MEK there, all you're doing is rubbing away and working too hard. So you just get a little bit more fresh. It's nice to have some nice fresh MEK just to gradually work into the surface. Just check the patch size is pretty well right. Yeah, we're in the right area. And again, now we're sort of 3/4 of the way there. It's a good idea now, just to get the last bit really clean on a big patch, is just to clean up the MEK we've already got down. And now just put, in this case I'll just use a rag this time, just re-wet the area again with a nice clean MEK, and this way we've now got we've got rid of all the excess wine that was coming off the surface before. So now I'll just do a little bit more with the steel wool. Now that we've got rid of all the excess wine or the excess clean material, we're now only have a little bit remaining, and it gets it nice and clean to finish off with. So we work that fresh MEK into the surface, and now we've got a fairly clean area there. We'll just use again a clean rag just to clean that up a little bit more, just to wipe the excess material away. And we can see we've got a nice clean area for patching to work on. Next step again is to stabilise this surface. This is quite tacky, so we want to stabilise this surface with some alcohol. So we just use an alcohol solution, again on a fresh rag, not on the rag that we had the MEK on, and we just liberally wipe that area, and it just gets the residue of the MEK away, and the alcohol will evaporate quite quickly. We now remove the absorbent material from underneath. As you can see, that's absorbed quite a bit of the MEK there, and that saved it leaching all over the back of the membrane. And we'll just wipe the back area just with a bit of the alcohol as well, just to take the stickiness off of it. We'll clean that properly later on when we repair the other side. So there's our area again, ready for working on with the welding. We're now ready to put our patch on. Again, quick check. We can see that we've got nice clean area around the whole area of the patch. The nozzle from the patch earlier has got a little bit of melted urethane on the nozzle. What that'll do is that can contaminate the next patch we do, so it's always a good idea to clean the nozzle before you start a fresh repair, in this case just with a simple wire brush. Once this is already hot, it's just a case of give that a little scruff over there. And turn it over, do the same the other side. And that just cleans up the nozzle. It means there's no sort of residue that's going to contaminate between the two surfaces we're about to weld together. Righto, so this patch is quite a bit larger, and what we've got to watch here is we don't leave any air pockets when we weld it on. We've got to watch that there's no pockets of air. We've got to make sure the whole patch area is welded. So the best way to do this is to actually work in strips. I'll just remove the gloves. So the best way to work on this is actually to work in strips. So what we'll do here is we'll weld a strip up the centre of the patch first, and then we'll weld a strip down one edge here, and we'll weld down one edge over this side. And so we literally break it down into 3 strips, and that ensures we get a nice even weld without leaving any air pockets. So centralise your patch over the hole. Again, start in the centre. In this case, because we've got a big hole underneath there, I'll just start towards this end and just do that little strip coming out that end there. So I'll just start at that position there. Insert the air nozzle. I've already checked that the temperature is right. We had the temperature setting right from the previous patch. And we just gently move the patch with a little bit of pressure with your thumb on the roller. Gently run it out. Now also, while it's still hot, just peel this edge up and this edge up, because it's actually quite soft while it's hot. So we just peel them up so we've got a nice straight line for our next weld. So now we've just welded this bit. Now we're going to turn it over and we weld down the centre down through here. So we just move that around. We'll go to the end of the hole there. If you have a large cut like this, an idea is to put some tape over the back just to hold this area together so it doesn't split apart as you're welding. This is only fairly short, so it won't take much trouble. So we'll just sit that there. Again, just put the edges there, and we just follow, gradually move the nozzle out and keep pressing down. And again, just pop them edges up so we've got a nice straight edge to work on for later. Same with this edge. It's important to do that while it's hot. Pull that up so you've got a nice straight edge, and pull that up so we've got a nice straight edge. So now we've got a strip welded right up through the middle here. That's still quite tacky because it's still very hot underneath there, but what we'll do now is we'll now work from this end, and we'll just do a strip down this end here, which you'll be able to see. So again, we won't start right from the end because it's always easiest to fade out from an end. So we'll start a little bit away from this end. And with this, we've now got our weld nozzle on an angle so that when we haven't got it at right angles, because this would be heating way out to here. We don't want to do that. We want to keep the heat into the area where we're welding. So we turn our nozzle around on an angle so it's hitting up against this edge here. And also with our roller, we actually work our roller on a little bit of an angle outwards like this so that we're not pushing a crease into the material. So we put the nozzle on an angle, and now we just gently work our roller out on a bit of an angle like so. Remembering now that we've got more heat in a smaller area because of the angle of the nozzle, so we are working just a little bit quicker when we're doing this. We move that along to there, then we come back to the last little bit. Again, just pull it back a little bit. Insert the nozzle into the gap. Let it time to melt. And just gently work out towards the end. We'll just scrap that extra bit of material off there. And now again, we've got a nice straight edge over this side. We're just going to run along this edge here. So nozzle on an angle again, and roller working gently on an angle out this way. And we just put the nozzle on, give it a bit of time to heat up. Now we just gently work out. Same process again, we just peel it back while it's nice and hot, and we just work the remainder of the way with the edge, the nozzle jammed into the gap. We just gently work our way out towards the corner. So again, the basic process is the same. We don't work around the edges, we work a strip up the middle, and then we work another strip up this side and then up this side, so there's no possibility of air gaps being trapped underneath there. Again, like the previous small patch, we now work our way around these edges so that there's no sharp edges around. At the moment I can grab hold of the edge of the patch, we want to round them patch edges out.